Isn't it quite wonderful for humans if we can sow a crop once and harvest it multiple times? This is what actually a perennial rice does. The foundation for this miraculous rice was laid back in 1996 when scientists from China crossed Oryza sativa, a commercially cultivated rice species, with an accession of undomesticated perennial rice called Oryza longistaminata. Being interspecific cross, the F1 was obtained after performing embryo rescue. However, it was partially fertile, self-compatible with strong rhizomes and poor agronomic performance. With the hope of obtaining excellent segregant that compromise the characteristics of both the perennial rice and existing commercial variety, scientists raised F2 population. Upon screening of this F2 population, one of the individual was found promising with very high pollen fertility rate and very high seed setting rate. This same individual was raised forward and pedigree selection was executed up to F9 generation. After F9 generation, 20 candidate lines were obtained, of which PR23 was one of them. PR23 upon multi-year trial stand out in terms of yield performance, regrowth ability, environmental adaptability, and survival through the seasons. Looking after this exceptional performance in the multi-year trial, the variety was released in 2018 in China. However, the most concerning factor for the breeders is about yield. This same perennial rice performed exceptionally well in terms of yield, with its performance of 6.8 ton per hectare on an average over 8 consecutive harvests over 4 years. But it must be taken into the account that after 4th year, the cultivation of perennial rice is not economically feasible, as the capability of rhizomes for the regrowth is non-significant in terms of economy. One of the standout advantage over annual rice is about its labor cost, which play key role in the net profit of farmers. About 43% of rice labor is invested in land preparation and transplanting, which perennial rice actually don't need. This can be a sigh of relief in the area where number of laborers available are dwindling. However, perennial rice comes with number of challenges, one of which is yield instability. For instance, region with average daily temperature falling below 4 degrees Celsius for more than 5 days and coldest month average dipping below 13.5 degrees Celsius is not suitable for adoption of perennial rice. Along with it, the concentration of pests and diseases is also questionable, as absence of intercultural operation poddling increases the chance of survival of pests and diseases. Hence, more intensive pest and disease management needed to be practiced. One of the crucial factors that determine rice cultivation is water availability. So, people are quite skeptical about its adoption given the context about depleting water resources in majority parts of the world. Although cultivation of perennial rice comes up with number of challenges, it is essential to identify novel longevity genes and QTLs related to yield and adaptability using the modern genomic tools. At last, these identified traits and genes need to be merged to a single variety using pyramiding and technologies like CRISPR-Cas9 in order to produce variety that can be widely adopted and cultivated.